Okay, we are now live. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the 7 rays of light. We've done this for 2 months, and this is our third ray of light that we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm so glad that you're here, either watching it live or watching it on the replay later on, where you can get the exact same information and receive the same energy. So welcome in. You're more than welcome to jump into the Zoom call or to just watch it streaming online on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm going to get right into it so we can get this wonderful information about the third ray of light. And let me do my share button. There it is. Okay, so we're working with the divine rays of light. And what is that? What is a divine ray of light? Well, they are streams of light and their divine consciousness. So each one of the rays carries a specific energy. This ray is going to be the third. We've already discussed the first ray, which was the blue ray of divine will. The second one was the golden ray of love and wisdom. And now our third ray is the pink ray, the ray of activity and adaptability, the ray of divine love. It comes with many different um, designations to it. And we're going to delve into it and learn more about it. One of the reasons that we study the rays is because they are guidance for us as we live through this human experience. So you may find yourself in one of the rays, a few of the rays, or all of the rays, because our goal is to learn something from each one, whatever it's there to teach us. This third ray of light, it's a very interesting ray. And I think I have spent a lot of time in this ray. I really resonate with both the Archangel and the Ascended Master that helps us in this ray. So we're going to see what that's all about. The third ray, known as the pink ray, is the ray of active intelligence, divine mind, and creative thought. It works with the energy of compassion. And you know, the angels have said this is the year of compassion. So this is a really good ray. If you're wanting to understand compassion more, then you can jump into this ray's energy, work with the Chohan, which is St. Paul the Venetian. We'll talk about him. Work with Archangel Chamuel, who helps us to figure things out and to find things, including our divine purpose. This is also the ray you want to get into to understand more about relationships as well as gratitude. All right, so what is the spiritual meaning of this third ray? Intelligent creation. So with the other rays, there's a lot of energy of feelings, delving into emotions. This ray in particular is contained with a lot of genius energy, a lot of higher intelligence. Even the Chohan, St. Paul the Venetian, was an architect. So it works with those people who have a way of figuring things out and putting things together, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So that intelligent creation is what we're looking at within this ray. It's higher thinking. It's thinking outside the box, being creative. A lot of our innovators, the ones who have brought us big, big things that we work with in our world, that's this intelligence that we're talking about and the higher thinking that we're able to tap into. It's vision and imagination. And when we think about imagination, it's more than just, oh, I wonder what that would be like. It's really going into what Neville Goddard says is the feeling. Feel it real inside of you. And then you can imagine it and you can, from there, form it. You can bring it into your world through form when you can really get into the imagination of it. It's strategic awareness. And what does that mean? Well, it means really asking yourself, what do I think? And looking at your belief systems, looking at what you've been taught in your life. Is there something there that maybe you want to look at again? Maybe you learned something when you were younger and you've had experiences since then. You've grown, you've explored, you've done some self-reflection, and maybe not all of those beliefs are still pertinent to how you feel now. So strategic awareness is becoming more emotionally intelligent, as well as looking at the different areas of your life where you make decisions, and are they based on what you're now aware of in the now moment, or are your decisions based on what used to be the way it's always been? Well, that's just the way we do it. I've heard that so many times. That's just the way it's done, without questioning it. So maybe it's time to question. Don Miguel Ruiz wrote The Fifth Agreement. Be skeptical but open-minded. So there's nothing wrong with questioning, and it actually is a very good thing to look at that as you're becoming more strategically aware. So this is the ray that says, let me understand. So it's really like that kid that wants to take everything apart just to see what makes it tick, right? Let me take it apart and put it back together. So it's that type of energy of really delving in and trying to understand more fully what life is all about and the things in our life. And then once I understand, I can create because I've got it now. I understand it more fully. So now I know what to do to bring it into form. So what are the qualities of the pink ray? Well, there are many, but these are the ones that I have listed out. The qualities, the traits, are visionary thinkers. As we said, the ones that really do the abstract thinking, the ones that think outside the box, that say, oh, maybe there's a better way. Have you ever said that? Maybe there's a better way to do this. Or I wish there was a better way to do it. So then you start thinking how things could be done. These are the philosophers, the metaphysicians, the ones that try to see, is there more to life than just what our eyes can see? Uh, a lot of people that are born into this pink ray are into the higher math and the complex systems. And I think these are like the computer whizzes, the ones that get it, that understand it. And, I have always been intrigued by computers, and I actually taught myself about computers. I didn't take any classes, I just learned it from the bottom up. So I understand a lot of things about computers without having to be told how to do it. I just figured it out. And we can do that with not just with computers, but with anything in our life that intrigues us or that we want to know more about. The ones that fall under this ray are seeking truth. They're truth seekers. And they don't just take something for granted when they hear it. They want to really look at it and think about it. Like our great thinkers, Socrates, Plato, they stood around and they discussed and they helped each other to understand more about life and more about what truth is. And I know truth is one of those things that can be your truth or my truth or the truth, right? So there's many different versions. But when something comes to you and you hear something, um, just look at it with some intelligence that okay, I want to process this, right? I'm not just going to accept it. I want to process it and see what that's all about. They are the ones with great imagination. So they generate ideas easily. When you are in that arena of taking things apart, putting them back together again, seeing what they're all about, then yeah, you do generate a lot of stuff. And like I said, these are where some of our great innovators have come from and how they just sat with this energy in this pink ray to create. So let's invite in the angels and the helpers, and we're going to specifically call in Archangel Chamuel. So in this pink ray, we're going to invite the angels of divine wisdom, opening this sacred space in light and in truth to illuminate our minds with clarity so our thoughts can reflect that highest good. Help us, angels, to think with love, to choose with awareness, and to create in harmony with the divine plan. We are willing, we are ready, and we are aligned with this pink ray that we're now delving into and finding more about. So thank you, angels. Thank you to the Creator for giving us the information and helping us to know how to live more fully this thing called life. All right, so each ray that we are discussing, there's 7 of them. This is the third one. Each ray has what's called a Chohan, which is an ascended master that helps us along the way and guides us through this energy. Each Chohan has what's called a virtual retreat, and their energy is located in specific places around our Earth planet. So the Chohan in this particular ray is St. Paul the Venetian. You may have heard of him, maybe not, but you're going to hear about him tonight because we're going to introduce St. Paul. And this pink ray is guided by Archangel Chamuel and his counterpart, which is Archaea Charity. They work together in that retreat that I was talking about. And their particular retreat is located in the United States. It's in the area of St. Louis, Missouri, going all the way up into Canada. And I've been there. I really enjoy the energy of St. Louis. I love seeing that big arch. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It has something very special about it and very spiritual when you look at that arch. And then knowing that that's where that retreat begins, and then going north from there, I really have felt some very special energy coming to me when I've stood there and observed that. So let's talk about Archangel Chamuel. Maybe you're familiar with him from prior teachings, maybe not. Chamuel is one of my favorite angels. His name means one who seeks God, and he's known as the angel of divine love or the angel of peaceful relationships. Isn't that a great angel to have on our side, especially if you interact with other people, if you have family or friends or significant others that you are relating with? This is a great angel to call, especially if there's any turmoil in the relationships, if there's any hardships, anything that you find yourself in conflict with, just call on Chamuel. He really is a great, great angel to help us through that. And I just said he. Angels don't have a gender, but Chamuel has always shown up for me as a masculine energy. Like I said, he's often called upon to help heal relationships. So if there is a discord in your family, your friends, your marriage or relationship, whatever it might be, this is the great angel to say, okay, we need some interference here. We need somebody to help put this thing back on the right track. And it's good to call on him for that. He helps to foster compassion. So if you're having a hard time with somebody who you just can't get that energy wrapped around them of compassion, maybe because they've been uh, grumpy or nasty or treated you in a bad way, then he's one that can help heal that relationship as well and bring you into an energy of forgiveness. And this is the one, Linda Lemieux is with us on the Zoom call. And Linda, this always reminds me of you when I call upon Shemuel to find lost items. And I always pair him with Saint Anthony. So I call both of them. If there's something I've misplaced, something I just can't put my fingers on, I just call St. Anthony and Archangel Shamuel, show me where it's at. They have never failed me. Every time I do that, it shows up, whatever the item is that was misplaced or I can't quite reach it, they're able to bring it to me. And I know Linda has that ability also, the ability to find lost things or animals or whatever it might be that someone is looking for. He also helps us find our life purpose. So this is a really good angel to talk to if you're feeling kind of lost, if you're not quite sure what you're doing, what this life is all about for you. Get to know this angel, Archangel Shamuel, such a wonderful angel to help us along our way. He helps us to find self-love. We have to love ourselves to be able to love others. So this is a really important angel to say, hey, I need some help here. I need to be able to maybe do some forgiveness work or do whatever it takes to dig deep and find that self-love. He helps heal broken hearts. And I think if we're in a human form, we're very likely to have had a broken heart somewhere along the way because that's the nature of relationships. We have disappointments and we have people that don't live up to our expectations. So call on him. And he helps to strengthen the bonds that we have with others. The color of his energy is pink. So when you call on Shamuel, think pink. Just invoke that energy and surround yourself with something pink that will help you. If you have a pink quartz, that's a really great stone to work with as you're working with Shamuel. In the Kabbalah, the tree of life shows him with the quality of Geburah, which means strength. So he is a very strong angel. You know, you would think with all of his attributes and his qualities that he would not be seen as strong. But love energy is the strongest energy that there is. So as he brings in the divine love and divine compassion, we can really see his strength and see that that is exactly where he would fall on that tree of life. I love this next point. He's thought to be the angel that comforted Jesus before the crucifixion. If you remember the crucifixion story, we just were like really reminded of it with Easter just having happened. He was alone in the garden, and there was an angel there that he spoke with and that was comforting him. And this is the angel that it was believed to have been, was Archangel Shamuel. All right, so let's invoke this angel, this beloved angel Shamuel, the angel of divine love. Each one right now, just hear these words and follow along if you want to have his presence in your life. Let's invite Archangel Shamuel's presence into our hearts right now. Surround us in your pink light of compassion. Align my thoughts with love and truth. Heal what is wounded. Restore peace within me and guide me to see through the eyes of love. Archangel Chamuel, we appreciate you, we honor you, and we thank you for helping us through every experience, knowing that you can help us to get back to that one place where we know that we are a spark of the divine. We know that we were created from love, and we hold that love in our heart, that pure, unconditional love. Let's just take a moment right now to feel that in our heart. Maybe it's covered over by some experiences that you've had. Maybe you have a hard time feeling into that love. But just be open-minded. The gospel says that if we ask, we will receive. So right now, just ask Chamuel to touch your heart, to open your mind, to open your spiritual eyes to what is truth. And the truth is that the only thing that's real is love. Thank you, Chamuel. Thank you for guiding us and helping us as we live our life and go about our daily existence here on earth. So that is Archangel Chamuel. He is the one that, if you're in this ray, this pink ray, he's the one that will help guide you. And through whatever experience, whatever happens as you go about your life, if you entered your earthly experience under this ray, you came for some teaching about love, divine love, about creation and how to be more creative. So allow Chamuel to help you with that. Now, we're going to go into the Chohan of the pink ray, which is St. Paul the Phoenician. He is an ascended master. And as I've explained before, an ascended master is one who has lived usually many lifetimes, because they keep growing in their experience until they reach that point of total enlightenment, and they don't come back. They help us then from the spiritual realm. They teach us and guide us. So St. Paul is an ascended master that in some of his incarnations, he was believed to have been in the government of Atlantis. And I believe Atlantis was a real place. I know some people think that was a fantasy and that it's not real, but there is much evidence that says that, yes, it was a real existing place on our earth plane. So he was believed to be a big part of the government. He was a master of architecture in Egypt. He was known as Paulo Veronese, who was an artist. Now, what I understand with the pink ray is art is a big part of our experience if we're a part of the pink ray, or if we move into that pink ray energy to learn more. It doesn't mean that you'll be a great, accomplished artist, but that it is a big part of your life. And so he was an artist in one of his incarnations, and he works with artists. He works with musicians, with architects, with designers, and with actors. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But when you think of it, acting is an art. It is something that it's a skill, but it's also something that can be learned, and it's very creative. So those are some of the things that he works with. in his helping us to go through this life experience. One thing that St. Paul does, he initiates the heart chakra and trains us in the gift of discernment. Now, isn't it interesting that this particular ray deals with intelligence on a higher level? And I think sometimes we forget that we can think things through instead of just always acting on something. We can look at it with a higher perspective. And that's what the ones that are in the pink ray are all about. They're seeing things maybe through a different lens. And so St. Paul can help us if we're working with this pink ray energy. He can help us reach that higher level of understanding and discerning what's for our best and highest good, or if it's something that maybe we shouldn't be involved in or we can stay away from. All right, so let's call in St. Paul and ask our beloved St. Paul the Venetian, who is the Chohan of divine intelligence. We call upon you right now, St. Paul, invoking your presence to help refine our thoughts, illuminate our minds, bring clarity where there's confusion, teach us to think with purpose, to create with intention, and to express beauty through all that we do. Help us to bring divine ideas into form with grace, wisdom, and love. We are ready to create in alignment with the highest, and so it is. So right now, I want you just to feel his energy. To me, when I tune in to St. Paul, it's a soft energy. It's loving and compassionate, caring, heart-centered. So if there's something that you would like to ask St. Paul the Venetian, if you want to know him better, if you want him to work with you in your life, just right now, in your heart, ask St. Paul to be more present for you. And maybe ask, is this my ray? Is this the ray that I was born into? Is this the ray I chose before I incarnated? To learn more about what it is to be more heart-centered, to be more compassionate and loving. So let's just take a moment to sit with St. Paul. I hope you felt him as I did. I saw a lot of pink flashes, pink all around me. And what a beautiful way to connect in with him. So I encourage you in your quiet time, in your meditation time, if you want to get to know this wonderful ascended master who is so full of compassion and helping us to understand things on a higher level, sit with him and invoke him, just as we did right now. If you want to review this, it'll be recorded and you can have access to it. Just ask him to help you in your daily walk. So this is what we just did. And one thing that you can ask St. Paul is, what idea is ready to be brought into form through me? So maybe there's something that you're thinking about or something you've been ready to go a little bit further with. Maybe an idea. It might be a dream that you've had that so far is still just a dream. Then ask, how can I bring this forward into the world? So some of the affirmations that you can say in this pink ray is, my thoughts are guided by divine intelligence. I create with clarity, beauty, and purpose. Inspired ideas flow through me with ease. I bring divine vision into form. That's a really good one. If you have something that you want to accomplish in life or something that you're ready to have more of, that's a really good affirmation to bring up and to dwell on. I'm a conscious creator aligned with truth. So in this one, know that you are a spark of the divine. Feel into your worth and let that guide you into moving further into how you can be more fully conscious in co-creating. All right, so let's move on. This ray, I've mentioned several of these things already. This is the ray of the abstract thinker, the philosopher, the metaphysician, of the man that delights in the higher mathematics, but who, unless modified by some practical ray, would hardly be troubled to keep his accounts accurately. So this is the part that I wanted to really stress in this one. We talked about them in prior rays, but what can happen if you are, let's say, out of balance or you're not fully present in the ray and understanding your position, what you're doing in this third ray. So the strengths are very powerful. You have powerful imagination and insight. You're able to grasp the complex, abstract ideas. You have broad perspective. So those are some of the strengths, the strategic thinking and planning, natural alignment with business, with math and systems, computers, and a deep love of knowledge and wisdom. But what can happen if you're not in balance with your life is those can go to one of the other extremes. Maybe you have a lot of ideas, but you can't figure out how to generate them. Like that, there's an idea, but then, oh, okay, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to bring it to fruition. So the other possibilities and the challenges is that maybe there's a struggle with the practical execution. Like I was saying, there's an idea, but what do I do? I don't know what to do with it. And you can become lost in just having ideas. Oh, I have all these great ideas. I hear this a lot from people, actually. I had this great idea, and then all of a sudden, somebody else had that idea, and there you go. They took off with it, and they were able to bring it to fruition. Sometimes you overthink decisions. Anybody ever experienced that? I know I have in my life. It's like, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I not do anything? So sometimes we overthink it and then we just feel stuck in the mud because we haven't really made a decision, right? It was made for us because maybe we lost out on an opportunity. If you're out of balance in this ray, you can appear scattered, ungrounded, or even disorganized. There's a tendency for people who are not in balance in this ray to be unpunctual. So maybe there's somebody that's always late. You're always running late, and people know this about you. They recognize your pattern of not being on time or not paying enough attention to details. So maybe you were told something, but it just like you were so caught up in your thoughts that it just went and was scattered. And then all of a sudden you didn't, you missed out on something because you weren't paying attention. And this can lead also into procrastination. That's one of the things that can happen when you're unbalanced. And another thing is people in this pink ray that are not connected in with their higher self and maybe not understanding their full potential under this pink ray, they might become mentally active but physically inactive. And I think that happens more so than not, living more in thinking instead of doing an experience. Oh, I should do that, right? Have you ever said that to yourself? I should do that. I should be going for that walk every day. I should, and we live in shouldas and not really getting out there and doing those things. So some of the expressions that can happen with people in this field, they can be strong in business. This pink ray is excellent for developing business-minded folk. Military people, a lot of people that go into the military are good at it because they can see the higher perspective. They know the tactics to use. Art, there's a lot of artists in the pink ray, whether they are doing the art themselves or teaching art or just enjoying it and maybe collecting art. A deep appreciation for music. Music is a big part of this pink ray. And also writers fall under the pink ray. So if any of that is resonating with you, then perhaps you are born under the pink ray or you are spending a lot of your lifetime there. So some of the incarnations are those who fall under the astrological sign of Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn. So if you see yourself, if you see yourself in one of those, just ask, is this my ray? Is this what I chose to come into to have more experiences here in this lifetime and to really understand it more fully? The chakras that you're working with in this pink ray are, of course, the heart chakra, the chakra of love, but also the throat. And why the throat? Because this is a very expressive ray, as you can see from what we've learned. There's a lot of talk, a lot of creation, a lot of figuring things out. And that is the throat chakra, the chakra of communication. All right, so we talked about the shadows and what can happen if you're unbalanced in this chakra, in this particular ray. And so I think I went over all of those except for manipulation. So people that are out of balance in the pink ray can be very manipulative and strive to be controlling. They have to be in control at all times. And I think I covered all of those others that I've listed there for you. The overthinking, the dreaming without grounding and doing anything about your dream, and avoidance, thinking instead of doing. So those are some of the shadow parts of the pink ray. So when do we call on the pink ray? Well, if you want to be more aware, if you want to get clarity, you can call on the pink ray during meditation. Do a pink ray meditation. Just maybe light a pink candle or envision a pink candle. Wear something pink. Surround yourself with pink energy and then go into a meditation and see what comes out of that. If you need clear decision making, that's a great time to call on the pink ray energy and call on St. Paul and Shamuel. Call on them together. Ask both of them to be present with you in that meditation. If you want to become more heart-centered, if you want to come back into balance, this is a great way to connect that heart and the throat together and speak from the heart center, speak clearly. Then that's a great meditation to do with these guides. to ask them to help you be more in balance. And if you want to turn your ideas into action, this would be a great, great way to actually start stepping into the action part instead of just dreaming it. And then when you find the guidance from them, they will help you with the steps that need to be taken. So what can you do in your daily practice? You can visualize, as I was saying, visualize pink light around you, around your body, in the room that you're in. Um, Maybe have something pink that you can see that's right in front of you. You can speak with intention. So many times we have a thought, but we don't verbalize it. Say it out loud. There's something about speaking your dream or speaking your vision of what you want to see, and it makes it more real when you can hear it. You can choose your thoughts more consciously. We make choices every minute of every day of our lives. We choose what to wear. We choose what to eat. We choose if we're going to go outside, whatever it is. So choose more consciously. Be consciously aware of what you are doing with your time and how you're spending your time in this life. You can take small, aligned actions. So every day, and this is part of choosing, choose to do a meditation. It doesn't have to be a long meditation. It can be 1 minute and it's still productive because you are centered and balanced as you're doing that. And avoid getting lost in mental loops. So you might be prone to, I really want to do something, but I've got this to do instead. So you get distracted, and then the thought comes back around, I really should. So we beat up on ourselves. We do the shouldas and the couldas and the wouldas. And so avoid getting lost in that. And instead, do the others. Take the small aligned steps. Choose your thoughts consciously. Speak it out loud. Sometimes if you speak out loud, even if you're talking to yourself, there's a lot of people that live alone. And so if you talk to yourself and you say, today I'm going to go for a walk, or today I'm going to be more consciously aware of getting some movement in during my day, or eating more productively and nutritiously, whatever it might be. Today I'm going to go to bed on time and get some good sleep. So speak it out loud and see if that doesn't make a difference. That's part of the higher thinking that we can do. All right, so let's get activated to this pink light, this pink ray that is so beautiful and so powerful. So if you can safely close your eyes, just take a breath into your heart. The heart is the chakra for this pink ray. It is where our pure, unconditional love resides. So envision that breath you're taking in is filled with pink energy, and see it going into your heart center. See it just sitting there for a moment. See your heart beating. Maybe you can hear it or feel it beating. And then release the breath slowly. And as you breathe it in again, let it become now more pink, more fully awake and alive and aware of this wonderful energy. And let's ask our guides, St. Paul and Archangel Chamuel, let's ask them to fill our minds with compassion, with love, with the knowingness of who we are and what we are. And maybe just sit with their energy for a moment and ask to work with the pink ray whether it's your premier ray that you were born into or one that you want to understand more fully. Right now, just ask, how can I be more fully immersed in this pink energy, in this beautiful love and compassion? What do I need to know to go more deeply into this energy? And St. Paul and Shamuel, I'm asking that you touch each person who's hearing my voice right now. Help them to understand more fully what's needed as they desire to work with you more fully. Help them to understand what it means to be in the pink ray energy. If there's any that have seen themselves in what was described, what was explained, then I ask that you go to each person and give them that activation to the energy, give them the confirmation of being in this pink ray, and bring their minds to dwell on how to best live this in their life, how to show up fully as a compassionate being, as a caring individual for others in the world, but also a caring, compassionate individual with more love in their hearts. So let's just take a moment and see if you feel any energy shift, anything that these guides may be putting into you as a thought. Maybe there's a touch that you feel, or maybe you just see a flash of pink, or maybe you're flooded with that pink energy. Let's sit in the pink energy right now. And now let's bring our awareness back to where we are, back to this room, back with each other. And I just want to thank the angels and thank especially Archangel Shamuel. And thank you to St. Paul the Venetian, a very loving and blessed ascended master who has our best intentions that he can help us to bring to light. Thank you to God who has given this information to us that we can understand these lives that we're living. What are we doing here? And to really know that there's more to being a human than just the physical part of being here on the Earth planet. So thank you all for tuning in tonight to the 7 rays and the pink ray especially. If you found yourself as a pink ray and you're watching this right now on the live, just say, yes, I'm a pink ray. And I'll be looking at those comments later after we go off the air. And Linda and I are going to just stick around for a minute after we stop the live, and we'll have a little discussion about the pink ray. So Linda, thank you for being with me on Zoom today. And I don't know if you saw yourself in the pink ray energy. You did. I thought so. I thought Archangel Shamuel was a real guide in your life. I really feel that. And I love that because he is a very special angel. So Thank you, everyone. We'll be back next month. This happens the second Wednesday of each month. So you can go ahead and mark your calendars. Next time, we're going to talk about the white ray. That's a very interesting one. So come with us for that fourth ray energy next month as we gather together here on Enlightened World Network and on Angel Speakers. And I encourage you, if you are watching it on YouTube, subscribe to our channels, subscribe to Angel Speakers and to Enlightened World Network. There's a lot of great programming that takes place there. And I just want to take a moment and thank Dr. Ruth Anderson of Enlightened World Network for all of the beautiful information that she brings forth on that channel every day. So thank you again. Blessings to all of you. And I'll be interested to hear if you have worked with the pink ray energy or if you're interested in working with it and how that looks like for you. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Linda, thank you again for being with me.